to all you big children out there. Konnichiwa! And welcome to the Tokyo Joshi Pod, your weekly dose of everything TJPW. I'm your host, Andy Zeich, and on today's show, we have another monthly bonus episode for you. I know, so soon from the last one. I promise that they won't all be this frequent as we start to settle into a monthly schedule, but I was really excited about this one. I wanted to get it out before the craziness of the holidays rolls around, and I wanted to make sure that you guys could listen to it and enjoy it just as much as I enjoyed bringing it all together. If you're new here, weekly Tokyo Joshi Pod episodes drop every Friday covering current events and current shows. These bonus episodes are like a once a month kind of a deal. And on this bonus episode, we have an interview. Alessandro from HypeTalkTV joins us. I'm so excited to share this conversation with you. Alessandro conducts a variety of interviews, mostly with Joshi talents across a wide variety of different promotions. He's traveled both the US and Japan, and he's interviewed wrestlers from Marigold, Seedling, Sendai Girls, some American independent companies, Japanese freelancers, and of course, TJPW. Ale and I sat down for about a 40-minute conversation where we discussed his start in interviewing and content creation, his love of wrestling and where that started, and Joshi wrestling in particular, given the huge boom that the Joshi industry is seeing of late. It's truly a wonderful conversation. I hope you enjoy it. All right, I am very excited to welcome onto the show today Alessandro from Hype Talk TV. Alessandro, thank you so much for coming on. How you doing today?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Alessandro, HypeTalk TV here. And I'm glad to be here with you. And we met what was it, Vegas when we first
Yeah.
met. That was pretty epic. You came up to me, you greeted me, and we're like, "Hey, like I watch your stuff or whatever." And I'm like I said earlier, I always ask people questions. I guess that's my thing, I guess. And I asked you like, what was your favorite video? And then you said Ram Kaicho, right?
Right, that's right. I've been following your work for a while, and quite frankly, a lot of your videos are really good. Ram Kai Chao is a personal favorite. I even thinking back to like your OG days, I really like Mio Momono, Rina Yamashita, back when you were like first getting started in the game.
Oh wow, that's nostalgic. In Japanese, nasukashi. Very nostalgic.
But that being said, I know you recently went to Japan, and I see you've been posting a few videos of your time with Marigold and Seedling. How was your trip to Japan?
Well, this was probably the most busiest and longest I've ever was there. I was over there for like over a month
Oh
and a
wow.
couple of days and stuff, so it was pretty crazy. I went to several things. I went to the first thing I would say the best, probably the craziest experience was probably Reigoku Kokugikan. That was like epic. That whole show with Grand Destiny with Io Sky. So much people, even people behind the scenes, you don't even they didn't even come out until like the next day in the news or whatever, the Japanese outlet newses and all that. But there was so many people there. It was crazy. I was like, wow.
Was that your first time at that venue? Your first time at Sumo Hall?
Yes, first time.
Wow.
And then I got recognized too. It was pretty crazy. Like when I was on my way there, um, because my place was near where I'm staying at. It was near the venue, and like two people noticed me when I was in the train, and then outside of the arena going into the venue. Well, actually, I think more. Actually, I think it was like four people. It was a lot, but I guess I have
People
a
from Japan recognized you, or people from like
yes,
foreigners?
Japanese,
Oh
Japanese.
wow,
I was like, what? And it's not the first time because I've had it like very sporadic, but this was the first time a lot in one place. I was like, wow, this is
that's
crazy.
awesome.
I'm really I'm gonna like be unhumble right now, but whatever. I'm like Mr. Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, you know what I'm saying?
There's your inner Miami coming out, right? Because you're based in South Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, dale.
So you went to Marigold, you went to Rygoku Kokugikan. I've been practicing my
Yeah.
pronunciation of that. And then
Yeah, it's hard.
you were interviewing some of the Seedling talent as well. What other shows did you take in while you were there for a month?
Healing, Ganbare Pro. They were awesome. They do stuff with like DDT and Tokyo Joshi Pro, the whole Wrestle universe. Um, they were awesome. They let me do like literally kind of like Marigold. They let me be free as possible, interview whoever I would like. and I was super comfortable, and everybody was so nice. I even like I first when I first walked in, I was already like, "Hey, it's the guy. He's super cool, whatever." And I'm like, "What? Me?" So it was super welcoming and warm. So I really like working with Ganbare Pro. Of course, I got that because of Yuna Manase. She was telling me like, "Hey, you should come and see what you could do." And then I was like, "Okay, let's just do it." I was free. And it was the day before I went to the Sareee-ism show, which I got that show with Monthly Produsu because I work and collab with Monthly Produsu now and do my own thing too. And I work with Marigold here and there, doing social media stuff and whatnot. And then Tokyo Joshi, of course, which is your podcast, like the main thing of your podcast, right?
That's right. Yeah, mostly Tokyo Joshi, but I do like to give credit. I know I spoke a little bit about the Sumo Hall show with Marigold just because it was such a tremendous show. So whenever there's something in that Wrestle Universe family, I think Ganbare Pro is in that Wrestle Universe family too. So I always give credit where credit's due. And you bring up Yuna Manase. Yuna Manase has been in and out of TJPW recently too. So there's like it's all
Yeah.
interconnected, right? It's all one big web.
That's actually interesting because I remember that same show. It was on, I think, yeah, the ninth. It was. There was a Tokyo Joshi Pro with J Rod as the main event. Remember that?
Yes.
And she was facing Mio Watanabe. And Yuna had a show with Ganbare Pro that same
Yep.
day, but at
She
night.
did double
And I
duty.
was like, yeah. And the funny thing is, I was arriving to the Ganbare Pro show, and I saw her going at the same time in the venue too with me, and I'm like, hey, what's up?
That's tremendous. I
Like,
know people do that around like WrestleMania weekend when they're jumping from show to show. And I remember back in Las Vegas, I always would admire people like that because that has to be so difficult to just not only physically wrestle twice in one day or more, but just to be able to get your bearings and go show to show and travel. Like that would stress me out so much.
yeah, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is so funny. And then her match for the main event was for the title. It was against oh gosh, I forgot the name. Oh gosh. I'm sorry, Gambare Pro, but I forgot the name of the champion. But it was for the championship and it was a intergender match. And I was like, whoa. It was super hard hitting. It was like my first ever time watching an intergender match live. And it was probably like the best of the best. It was like one of my favorite matches ever in Japan. So it was really good. Very good. I recommend watching it.
So you were there for a month in Japan. Obviously, you did a lot of wrestling. We're talking about all the different wrestling you went to. Do you do anything
Yeah.
different beyond wrestling? Any other like fun activities you like to take part in? Anything like historical, food related while you're in Japan?
Like, can it be interview wise or does it have to,
Even
or
just
something
personal, like if
else,
there's
right?
anything you did just for fun while you were there.
Oh, okay. I don't know where to go with this, but I guess I went to so whenever I go to Japan, I always go to places that no one really goes to because I don't know, I have like this weird thing where I kind of like to be by myself too and like think. So I went to this is so funny. I went to Chiba. There's this show, it's called Katsai. It's a J drama and it's like awesome. It's like really, really, really funny. So like Katsai is Kisaruzu's Katsai. It's a Netflix show, J drama. And there's like it's like in Chiba, but it's like all the way like where the ocean is and all that stuff. And I visited that place and I was like, whoa. It was so funny, but it was a good self-reflection of like what I was doing and I needed that little break to kind of like recollect my thoughts and stuff. So I do that sometimes when I'm in Japan. I go to some random place that I like or I find inspiration and then I go to it.
Nice. That's awesome. How did you get started with all of this? Because I know we're talking about where you're at now with your connections with Monthly Pureresu and Marigold and Seedling and all these companies. And obviously, you've interviewed, I mean, your Rolodex of interviews now is so big. You've interviewed talent from all different companies. How did you get started in just interviewing content creation? Was it on YouTube, on your YouTube channel? I know I did a little bit of research way back when you were interviewing like, was it like Japanese rappers or musicians or something like that? Like how did this whole journey start for you?
Oh, okay. So Japanese rappers. Oh, okay. So you went that far.
I
So
do my homework.
let's start. So good, good. Um, damn, that's a good question. I would say my very, very first start was in Miami, of course, because I had a friend who was a rapper, and then I went to his show one of the days, and it was just spontaneous. I asked for an interview, at the show, and I just did it there. And then from there, I started doing interviews from 19 years old, and now I'm 27. Oh my gosh, almost forgot my age. 27. So it's been a minute. It's been a minute. And then from there, I gradually went from rappers, artists, influencers, wrestlers, everybody. And then, oof, it's a good question. Then the Japanese stuff came when I went to, like you mentioned earlier, the Japanese rappers. I asked one of my friends, like, hey, um, oh no, wait. I'm trying to sorry, I'm trying to recollect my thoughts here. So originally, my first trip to Japan was from my rapper friend, Original God, and he was gonna have a show there. And then he ended up not going. So I already had booked my tickets and all that to go to Tokyo, Japan, and that was like my first ever trip. So I was like, okay, like I still want to go because it's Japan, it's
Yeah.
my first time ever. And this was like 2023, so it was the start of the beginning of after COVID when they started getting to normalize travel, and they still were wearing masks, but it wasn't as
Hmm.
much. So it was pretty much like no one was visiting Japan at that time. So I was one of the very few people, and then I got so wait. Sorry, my brain is going crazy. So then I asked him like, what do I do since I'm already in Japan and I'm already there, and what should I do? And then he gave me like a reference, like one of his friends, Tayosin. He said, "Oh, go to his show and see if you can interview him there." And then I got the in for that, and I went to Club Asia and interviewed him there. And it was like crazy. It was so crazy. It was like I was the only foreigner. I was just like no Japan. That was at that time I had no Japanese. I was like Shabaranai, nothing since Sendai. It was so crazy. So it was like Tokyo Drift moment, pretty much. Like I was, that's what it felt like. Literally the Tokyo Drift movie, and it was crazy, insane. And then I was trying to communicate with everybody, but no one knew a single lick of English except for like one girl that she was studying to be an actress or whatnot in school, and then she helped translate. And then I was trying to figure out what to do, so I was just filming all that, and I interviewed them, the whole band, and all that. And that was like the most cool, epic, like punk rock rap scene I've ever seen ever. And that to this day. So that was
So is
epic.
that like your like gateway in a sense, like your inspiration point where you
Yes,
were
I
like
would say so.
almost like your calling in a way?
Yes, that was like my first initial like, whoa, I guess aha moment.
Hmm.
That's what you call it? Yeah, aha moment. So I wanted a taste of more.
Was
So
that also the point where you said, you know what, I need to learn to speak Japanese if I'm going to be doing this?
a little bit. I was very I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of ignorant my first trip. I was like, why do I have to learn Japanese? But I'll try. So yeah, my first initial reaction was pretty like kind of ignorant, but then I got used to it during the trip and I fell in love with it more and more afterwards and stuff. So
And would you call yourself fluent in Japanese now or proficient? Kind of how would you rank yourself?
I'm bad at every language. What do you mean? Spanish, English, all those languages. I'm like, whatever.
But you the thing is, you're bad at multiple languages. I'm bad at one language, so you still have an edge on me.
That's facts. Oh gosh, I would say I'm more like casual. I'm not
Okay.
really fluent or anything, just casual, I would say.
And are you self-taught? Is that right?
Yeah, Dokugaku, just self-taught through 2 years of self-teaching myself.
Wow. And what do you use like a program? Do you just kind of immerse yourself? Like what kind of techniques do you like continue to learn Japanese to this day?
Oh, it's crazy. But in the beginning, I used to like actually look at videos and like study and all that stuff. But gradually over time, I just did what I could. So I just basically learned from asking questions, because I guess that's a good way to format your Japanese is to like, because for me, it's like super easy because I just use it for my videos and whatnot. So it's super, okay. Actually, this, I could go two ways with this actually. I got inspired to speak more Japanese because of interviewing, I would say.
Okay.
And then from there, it snowballed, and I learned Japanese from learning the questions to ask wrestlers or whoever it is that is Japanese at the time that I'm interviewing. And then that was a really good way to kind of like start it off and learn more and more and more. And then later on, I started learning more slang by talking with many different Japanese people. And then, yeah, I guess the secret to learning Japanese is just having fun and doing something or being interested in something that you like that is Japanese. And then going from there, I guess that's a good way to kind of start.
Do you ever find your,
And that's how I learned.
sorry, keep going.
Oh, no, no, you're okay. You're okay.
I was going to say, do you ever find yourself, because your interviews are always so well polished and the communication is so fluid between you and whoever you're interviewing, whether it's a wrestler or a musician, whatever, do you ever find yourself having any sort of miscommunications or like communication barriers? You're trying to phrase something a certain way, because Japanese is a very difficult language to master, and I'm sure there's many variations and sounds and cadences. Do you ever find yourself having trouble articulating what you want to say or trouble understanding what your interviewer or your interviewee is saying back to you?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, sometimes, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, there's always some sort of like, but this is everything, like, in communication when it comes to English, Spanish, Japanese, or just in general. Like, it matters of how you say it and what way you say it and everything, but it does happen sometimes. But my way of like maneuvering that is just by like being confident and being very secure in what I'm trying to say, or like I'm just confident like in general, to be
Mhm.
honest. I've been doing this since I was 19. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You're a veteran now.
Yeah. So like as long as I have that confidence or that fake confidence, I don't know, sometimes I think it's fake. Like I say in my interview, Hayu-san mitai, like an actor kind of, but yeah, like I would say like as long as I have that confidence or that way of like kind of like saying it with a certain like panache or with good accent and all that, I'm okay.
Awesome. And I know you like to lean into humor too sometimes in your interviews, which I think separates your content from a lot of other interviews, a lot of other content that's so serious.
Really? Really? You think so?
Oh yeah, I think that's the kind of one of the charms of your videos is you're able to bring out the people behind the wrestlers and the characters, and you ask such pointed questions, and they always, all of the wrestlers always look like they're having so much fun speaking with you and just having, like maybe it's just a chance to speak to someone from a different country and it's just kind of out of their norm, but they always look like they're having so much fun, and there's the smiles on their faces are always ginormous when they talk with you.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Because for me, it's more like I feel like it's more motivating in a way. Because I've been doing this so long, so it's like refreshing and very like awesome. And it's also like an accomplishment if you really think about it.
Of
Like no one
course.
could really say that you could do it, that you're an interviewer, and then you could also interview in another language and then also communicate with that person and also be very like yourself or like awesome. And I don't know, there's a lot, but yeah, yeah, that's a good point.
So you're around 19, 20 years old. You're going to Japan for the first time, mostly on the music world. How did you segue into wrestling and getting into Joshi wrestling? Like, have you been a wrestling fan just in general your whole life? And then kind of where did you find yourself with that Joshi niche?
Well, I think I was 25 when I went to Japan. When I started doing the interviews, I was 19
Okay.
though. Don't worry. I get confused sometimes too. But what was the other part that you said? Sorry.
Did you always have like a love for wrestling in general growing up, like a family thing, or did you have an interest in watching like WWE when you were young? And then how did that segue into Joshi wrestling in particular?
Oh, okay. That's a good question too. So basically when I was around, oof, 2000, was it 5 or 6? 2005 or 6. I could have been like 8 or 6 years old. I remember, like, to this day, I still remember this day. I went to the hospital because my sister had like a stomach virus or a stomach bug of something. And there was just like wrestling playing on the TV, like randomly. And it was like 2 a.m. in the morning. And this was like way back. And I remember just watching it and I saw like, I don't know, I think it was like DX or something. And it was like a backstage segment or whatever. And I was like, whoa, this is cool. It's like crazy, but cool. Like it's like super cool. And then after, that was like my first initial reaction. And then after I started watching here and there, not consistently, but then I consistently started watching it after like in 2007, 2008. And I really, really, really loved at that time Rey Mysterio, CM Punk, a little bit of Jeff Hardy. Oh, who else? Edge. Oh my gosh, so much, so many. Of course, a little bit of John Cena too. But I would say the main people were CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, and what's his name? Oh gosh, the guy in the tag team. Gosh, yeah, a little bit of DX, I guess. Yeah, a little bit of DX. So.
Awesome. I was a big Edge fan growing up too, so that you pull that name right out. When you say Edge rated R superstar, that was definitely my era too. Much more than Cena. There was always that big rivalry between Cena and Edge back in that time.
I liked Edge more, honestly, as a kid.
Yeah, Edge was always one of my favorites, and I always love hearing it's so fascinating that you kind of have what could really just be like a negative experience, right, with your sister getting sick and almost having it become like a nicer memory for you as your intro to wrestling. I
Yeah.
always love to hear about where people kind of discovered wrestling because it's something that's so popular, but it's also something that everybody seems to have that like intro to, you know?
Yeah. And then yeah, then I started watching from there and then the whole Japanese thing started from I guess my first initial time seeing Japanese wrestling was in WCW because I remember as a kid my mom bought me this is throwback, holy crap. Can I say that? Is that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay? Circuit City, remember Circuit City?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Way back, okay? And she bought me the WCW Rise and Fall DVD. And that was like pretty cool because I got to see like a bunch of like crazy matches that were super cool at the time, like Goldberg, NWO, Cruiserweights, all that. And I remember seeing Ultimo Dragon. I was like, whoa, and this guy is so cool, so fast, crazy. And then the Luchadors, of course, too. But Ultimo Dragon was probably the first introduction to Japanese wrestling as a whole. And then I would see like people come in from NXT like Kenta, Asuka, but I wasn't really like into the Japanese until probably like 2019 when I saw one of those crazy DDT oh this is this is lore. This is lore. Oh gosh. DDT I watched like randomly somewhere DDT. I think it was on Twitch or something. Somebody was live streaming DDT and it was like a crazy match with like Miyu Yamashita, Maki Ito, people like that, and they were having like an outdoor match in the middle of like the street
Oh yeah, the
somewhere.
street wrestling. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? So it was really interesting. And then I researched it more and I was like, okay, okay, let me get into this more. So I watched a little bit of Tokyo Joshi, then a little bit of Stardom, but I was more a fan of Tokyo Joshi, I would say at that time. So it's kind of crazy that I got to interview all those people later on.
What specifically about Tokyo Joshi was it that kind of drew you to that promotion more than, say, Stardom?
Oh, that's a good question too. I would say because at the time I was really into like anime and stuff, and a lot of their characters and wrestlers were like more like had costumes and more anime kind of ish
Hmm.
looking. So that's why I got really interested in them. And then of course Maki Ito looked like an anime character, Miyu Yamashita, everybody. And then Stardom too, but I would say they were more real, like not real, what I'm saying, more like legit, I would say
Hmm.
wrestlers with a little bit of anime type of
Different,
style
yeah,
looking.
different style between the two. It's like I always say wrestling's like a buffet. You can get like a little bit of everything everywhere you go.
Hmm. And this is speaking from the mind of my mindset back then, because now I would probably say something different
Yeah.
too. But that's like my mind of as a casual viewer at the time trying to get into the wrestling Japanese scene.
What do you watch mostly these days? Is it a little bit of everything, or do you follow like one promotion over another?
Oh my God, dude, should I be honest or should I say BS? Honestly, I've been so busy that I just watch like here and there. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna so I'm actually a casual watcher again, but I know my information, of course, and all that.
Is there one that you maybe you don't watch it, but you just keep tabs on the results, or you tune in for the big shows more than the other? Like, do you have a like I guess a favorite promotion, if you will?
Oh, of course, Marigold, I would back then it was Stardom, but not really much anymore. But I would say Marigold. What's the other promotion? Oh gosh, Marigold and a little bit of Sendai, and then a little bit of Tokyo Joshi here and there too. I would say. And Stardom, I'll pick up some of their really big shows because of their wrestlers. Mostly the wrestlers I watch Stardom, but mostly I would say the most is Marigold.
Very hot right now too, coming off that Kokugikan show that you were at. Sendai Girls, really hot too. They just had the Chihiro Hashimoto anniversary show, which was a really, really good show too. So,
He's cool, yeah.
which would you say, you've done so many interviews now and you've worked with so many different companies. Do you have a favorite interview of all of your interviews?
Sorry, I laugh a lot. I would say, gosh, I like all of them, honestly, but I always have a new favorite every time,
Mhm.
so it's kind of hard. Of course, like, damn, I don't know, they're all different meanings to me, so it's like hard to really pick. I like all of them. All of them are pretty good. But I want to give a good concrete answer. I don't want to say like, oh, like I just like all of
How
them.
about like a recurring interviewee? Because I know sometimes you'll speak with a few people more than once, going back to Japan or they come to
Oh,
America. Do you have a favorite guest that you always try to get kind of in your schedule whenever your schedules align?
oh, of course. Probably Nagisa Nozaki uh Arisu Endo too, and Aono Miku. I would say Aono Miku or Arisu Endo, those two for sure.
Nice. And I saw your video. I want to say it was from when you were in Texas with TJPW, and you had gifted Arisu a was it a Lakers jersey? Was that right?
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of those? Because I know you obviously do a lot of interviewing. Do you do a lot of like gifting moments? Is that something that you kind of your followers help provide the means to provide those gifts? Is that something that you want to almost like give it back to the wrestlers in that sense? Is that something you're trying to do more of?
Yeah, usually my formula for that, I would say I do that for wrestlers who reoccurring pretty much. People who come back on. And that's like my thank you for like coming back again and having a good interview, of course, because they don't have to be there, you know?
Yeah.
They're kind enough to give me their time and they're awesome. So it's my gift to them. And I like giving gifts. It's fun for me.
It's fun to watch too, I have to say. That Arisu one, her reaction is just so genuine and she's so happy that entire and I think it's maybe only like a 90-second video or something, but it's such a sweet moment that you created with her.
Yeah, I remember I told her I was gonna give her a gift that day, and she was like so surprised and excited. And then when I finally did it, it was awesome, the reaction and everything, more than I expected. I was like, oh wow, and it was kind of funny because I don't know if I should say this, but I'll say it, I guess. The people, you know, the query people that sponsor those Tokyo Joshi
Yeah.
shows sometimes. One of the it was funny because the day before he met one of Magic Johnson's sons or something like that, or was working with Magic Johnson. So it was kind of interesting that I had a Magic Johnson jersey and I gave it to her, and he was there present to see the interview live in person. So it was crazy
Nice. How nice.
coincidence.
How would you define your interview style? Because there's a lot of people that do interviews, I mean, in wrestling as a whole, but even within Joshi nowadays, as Joshi becomes more popular
Mm,
internationally, there's so many interviews in, written form online, video form. How would
mm.
you define your style? Like what sets your interviews apart from others in the space?
Oh, so it's different. It is different. You think so?
I think everybody has their own style, right? Because everybody's different. And I mean, to me, I always love your authenticity
Yeah.
and you have a sense of charm that you bring to the interviews as well. It's not so serious
Uh-huh.
and I don't want to say rooted in fact. Obviously, you do your research and what, but
Yeah.
you're a lot more loose with it, and you just I think I mentioned it earlier. You just seem to bring out like the human side of the people you're interviewing.
Oh, thank you. I try. I'm being humble right now. Sorry.
Would you say that's something that you try for? Like, what is maybe
Uh,
phrase it this way? Like, when you approach an interview, do you
yeah.
have? I imagine the goal changes for each person that you're speaking with, but
Yeah.
is there somewhat of a structure or goal for each of your interviews? Like, I'd like to have the conversation go in this route and be a little bit more
Uh,
lighthearted versus a little bit more serious in that sense. Anything like that?
That's a good question. So of course, charm. You said charm. That's like my best interview question. Charm point. That's like the number one question.
Mhm.
I always start off with that, of course, because it's like the best way to kind of like figure out who the person really is. And it's always a surprising, actually, question because it makes them open up, and it's like a good way to kind of like start off the interview because they open up, they tell you um what their charm point pretty much. Like if I asked you that or anybody that, they'll be like, "Oh wow, thank you for asking that," you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like Io Sky when she said, "Oh, I've never been asked that before." So it was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." She's a WWE wrestler, so she's never been asked that. What?
I feel like that concept in particular is so foreign in even like America. I feel like the a charm point is something that's very like rooted in more in like Japanese culture.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's interesting for sure. And yeah, I got inspired from another influencer. That's how it came to be. He added that to one of his one of those I forgot, Japanese influencers that does like social media. And I took it from there and I was like, okay, let me spin and do my own thing with it. And then I my whole motive for my interviews is basically I just want to see who the person is. I don't really I'm very direct, so I'm gonna say it from my heart. So I just don't care about the wrestling part because I already know the wrestling part of the wrestler already. It's online. I can just Google it.
Mhm.
So I want to know more about who they really are as an individual. That's all I care about, to be honest. To keep it
I
blunt.
love that. No, I love that because I think, I mean, especially in today's day and age, like when you look at WWE, WWE is obviously a much bigger like machine, right? And there's just so much noise and discourse around it. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of people forget that there are always like human beings behind the characters that you see. And sometimes there's an overlap more than others, but there's always human beings. And personally, I always think that's the most interesting to see what draws someone to become a wrestler because I might have told this to you before off air, but like me growing up watching wrestling as a kid and falling in love with it, to
Yes.
understand that there is like a Risu Endo out there or Raku out there or Io Sky out there who have that same experience across the globe is fascinating to me.
Yeah, and it's like a really good connecting way to know them without having to know them so much, you know? And it makes them happy too. Like that's in the end of the day, that's another goal of mine, like to make the viewer happy and then the person I'm interviewing happy. That's all that matters too. I'm very positive and I'm really energetic, positive type of person, so I want to give that back to whoever I am associated with, you know?
Yeah, and that's great. Like I think again, especially with WWE and wrestling, I don't want to single out WWE, but wrestling in general and
Mm.
that internet community around wrestling could always use more of a jolt of positivity. So I love that too.
Yeah. It was rough. I'm not gonna lie. It was rough in the beginning
Yeah.
with a lot of fans kind of like were against, not against me, but they were like, "Oh, who is this guy?" Whatever, doing these interviews, trying to speak Japanese, and I guess that was a big. Thank God I have done this for so long because it could break anybody, you know.
No,
Trying to
of
learn a different
course.
language and criticizing the person to try to learn the language and also on top of it interviewing because there's a lot of pressure with that, but for me I'm so like solid as a person that I could just do it honestly, but of course it takes time and it takes practice of course to be able to be that type of person. And I would say to individuals that are kind of like I guess the same way, like want to learn or put themselves out there, just try and it takes time. That's it. Once you take that time and you get better and better, you'll be fine. It's all good. Damn, that was very positive.
I was going to say, speaking of getting singled out in a more positive light, a more lighthearted sense,
Mm.
you're a tall guy. I don't know if you have reddish hair now, but in the past you've had red hair, right? When you go to Japan, do you find yourself sticking out a little bit more than the average Japanese citizen over there?
That's a good question. I would say I don't really get looks or anything like that, honestly. But it's because I hang out with a lot of Japanese people and try to kind of like get in with the culture. So I guess I
Mhm.
don't really see it or I experience it at all. Like I've never had a bad experience, I'm not gonna lie. I've had like little looks here and there, but that's when you go to like outskirts, like Inaka, like countryside. But that's typical. That's how people are. So I don't really,
Yeah.
and I don't care. I know I'm an outsider. Who cares?
Well, I've even heard stories from friends that have gone to play like professional sports in Japan or what have you, and not even like in a negative sense, but they just get looks because they just look so different. And I know that sounds negative,
Oh,
but the people over there are just in awe of someone who can be, I had a friend who went over there who was 6'11", and everybody over there was like, "Oh my God, you're like two of me. Like, what's going on?"
yeah.
So I just think that's always so interesting too, that sometimes people can get singled out, but in more of like a positive way too.
I would say the only time I ever had like a kind of like a strange look was when I was dating my ex Japanese girlfriend, and there was an old guy that was just looking when we were walking. But that's like typical. Like honestly, I would
Yeah.
look if I was Japanese too. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, "Yo, what's up with
Different
this guy?"
generations. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like typical. You just have to get in line with it, you know? I don't
Yeah.
like to change stuff, and I know how people are. You just gotta go with it. Oh, and to get back to that question you said about the fans and stuff, um I said I also like to cater to like kind of like the casual fan in a way too. I like to bring in people who would never normally watch wrestling to get to know the wrestler, and then after kind of like research the wrestler and stuff like that. Cause it's like,
Yeah. Like you're that gateway in a sense.
yeah, cause like for instance, I make the videos for my mom to watch or like whatever, like your sibling that doesn't really watch it, and then they could get into it by just watching that clip or whatever.
So speaking of that, that's actually a terrific segue because Joshi wrestling in particular, really all of wrestling is at like a huge boom right now, but Joshi wrestling in particular is becoming so much more popular, not only in Japan, but also in America. And we've seen like all different companies coming over here, Stardom, Tokyo Joshi, Marvelous ran a show in Vegas this year. What do you think Joshi wrestling has in particular that resonates so strongly with fans in America?
Ooh, that's a good question too.
I feel like you ask that to the wrestlers sometimes, so I'm trying to
uh,
turn it back on you for a second
yeah,
here.
I never think that. I just do. Ah, why so what you're saying is basically why are people so interested in Joshi wrestling? Why, right? In America?
Yeah, what about Joshi wrestling just resonates so strongly compared to all of the other wrestling that we have, WWE, AEW, TNA, etc. Like what about it do you think, in your opinion, stands out that just resonates so strongly with people?
Joshi wrestling, right? Not just Japanese wrestling and as a whole or just women's Japanese
Either.
wrestling?
It could be either.
Okay, okay. So Japanese women's wrestling, I would say is this is a little bit biased, but I think it's actually like facts though. Um, I think Japanese women's wrestling is probably the best or one of the best wrestling in the world, honestly. It's like top tier. It's like so good. Like it's on the level of men's wrestling in America and all that, I would say. And it's the best. I would. I'm like bringing down women's west wrestling in America, but it's like way higher level than women's wrestling down here. I would say for sure. It's the best of the best, and it's like, I don't know, like it's one of those medians of women's sports or whatever that's like you have to watch, and you'll think like, damn, like this is on the level of men's. Like it's that
Yeah.
good.
Sometimes even surpassing some
Yes, yes,
men's matches as
yes.
well.
Like sometimes, like for instance, the Yosukai Mayu Iwatani match, in the recent Marigold show, big show. Oh, so good. It was like top tier. It was like WrestleMania type.
For sure. And I was just listening to someone speaking about the Stardom match with Saya Kamatani and Tam Nakano from back in April, and we're talking like
Yeah.
6, 7 months ago, and people are still remembering that match just because of how good it was as a match and as like the ending to that story too.
Yeah, she's like an all-star. She's a like super she's a top star, Saya. She's so good. And her whole like character progression and her as a performer has evolved to such a big level that's like it's insane. It's insane. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I thank you so much for your time. I want to wind us down a little bit
Okay,
here.
okay.
With all of your, now this has been fantastic. I love hearing kind of your side of not only your process but also your interest in wrestling, because I think a lot of people see your content And obviously they're there to listen to you interview the wrestlers and learn more about the wrestlers. But
Mhm.
I think it's so interesting to hear about you and kind of how you've started this and how you've grown your channel. But out of kind of looking back on your whole experience, do you have a favorite part of what you do? Is it the travel? Is it meeting the talent? Like, what would you say is the favorite part that kind of keeps you going and keeps you returning to these interviews?
That's a good question. These are all good questions. Thank you. Um, that's a good question. I have to think about it. Give me a second.
Yeah.
So what makes me keep doing what I do? I guess it's just always finding somebody like is it Japanese wrestling, of course. Yeah, it has to be about that. I guess like what keeps me going with the interviews and what makes me so into it would be meeting a person from like a whole different world or like just a different person in general. It's just so interesting. And once you meet that person, you connect, and it's just like a whole like I don't know, it's just hard to explain, but it's like so interesting and fascinating in my opinion. And it keeps me going for sure. Because you see these people like these wrestlers or whatnot, and they're actual people, you know? And they have
Hmm.
things they like and things they don't like, as me and you. And I don't know, it's just interesting. I just find a fascination to it that's like so crazy and mind-boggling that this person, like let's say for example, Utami Hayashishita, in the ring, she's like the coolest person in the world. Like she's like awesome. She's like superwoman. And then outside the ring, she's like super cute, nice, so kind. And it just makes me like happy as a person and wanting to do more and more interviews with people like that and other Joshi wrestlers.
So that human connection, is that what you'd say?
Yeah, especially oh gosh, this is this is about my childhood, I guess. It's because when I was a kid, I was like very timid, shy, and very reserved. And I guess that sort of connection just like helps me and keep going in life too, as well. That got deep, sorry.
No, no, no. I love that. That's my version of your question. You always ask the talent, what makes you happy, or like what's your happy kind of world that you live in. So that's kind of my version of that question for you. Do you have anything upcoming? I know obviously you're putting out a lot of interviews, really almost every week, it seems like, or almost every day at this point. You have so many interviews from your recent trip. But is there anything upcoming for you? Any future interviews that people should kind of be on the lookout for? Do you have another trip planned or any just plans for your channels, anything like that that you want to plug?
For interviews, I'm gonna probably interview everybody. I'm working on something crazy coming up. Just keep posted on that. I'm still in talks with the people, but it looks like it's gonna be a for sure thing. But it's something that's unexpected, I would say. And I'm trying to also, I guess I could say this. I'm trying to kind of like not do just women's wrestling. I'm trying to get more into the men's side. So I'm trying to get more men Japanese wrestlers and do the charm point with them too. So yeah.
You did have a really lovely interview with El Phantasmo as well in Las Vegas. I like that one too.
Yeah, that was very like spontaneous. I was like, "Oh, he's here. Let's see what happens."
And I think who else was it? You had Mao as well, and
Um,
I believe you had Mao's tag team partner Yoshihiko, right?
yeah. Yeah, Mao is an interesting character for sure. And Yoshihiko.
That's awesome. I do want to give you a chance to just kind of plug your channels, your socials, where people can follow you and watch your interviews. You've teased something big here, so we have to stay tuned. So where can people watch your interviews and follow your content?
Just find me. No, I'm playing. You could just find me, yeah, of course, too. But it's Hype Talk TV on everything, social media, all that. And then, of course, my name is Alessandro because some people still don't know my name. They just call me Hype Talk. So my real name is Alessandro. Um, and I just do all the stuff. And then you can follow me on Twitter, X. Uh, not really TikTok too much, but Instagram is probably like my main place where I post mostly on. So yeah, just get me on there.
Where does Hype Talk TV come from? And is there like a story behind that, or just something that sounded cool?
So in the beginning, when I first started getting into like the whole interview and YouTube stuff, I was very like into like fashion and stuff like that, which you could you could see that I'm very stylish. That I dress up pretty well for a cat like me. So and yeah, like so I was really into fashion when I was younger and still to now, of course. And I got that from Hypebeast, you know, the Hypebeast account on
Yeah,
Instagram and all that. And I was like, oh, I want to take that and make my own version of it. And then I'm like, okay, so it's interviews, so talk. And then TV, of course. Back then, YouTube used to have a lot of TV names on YouTube.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I got that and I put it all together.
Nice. Love that. Well, Hype Talk TV on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Give Alessandro a follow. His interviews are lovely. Alessandro, thank you again so much for taking the time. This has been a blast. I always enjoy speaking with you, and it's so great to learn more about you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, my bad. I'm a osabari this a very talkative person. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next one. Well, there you have it. That was a lot of fun. Grab your cold spray and your ice packs because that brings us to the end of this month's bonus episode. My thanks again to Alessandro. Be sure to give him a follow at HypeTalkTV on all major social platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and X. I hope you guys really enjoyed that interview. If you did, hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts for future interviews, and of course, the weekly Tokyo Joshi Pod dropping every Friday, where we cover the news, the recent shows, we even talk about the graduates from TJPW as well. You can follow this show on social media at Tokyo Joshi Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and X. You can also drop us an email. I'd love to hear which guests you'd like to see on future interview bonus episodes. You can email us at tokyojoshipod@gmail.com. But above all else, remember to keep your hearts burning. Stay magical, my friends. And we'll see you next time on the Tokyo Joshi Pod.